Welcome along to the deep dive.
Nice.
Today, we're getting into something pretty fundamental, aren't we? The whole intricate world of love and relationships.
Yeah, absolutely fundamental. And our mission here really is to try and, well, distill what love actually is, how it changes, what makes it stick,
Yeah.
moving beyond just the surface level romantic ideas we see everywhere.
Asking what the evidence actually shows us.
Exactly. What does the research tell us about connections that truly last?
And this deep dive, it's really for you. Doesn't matter if you're in a relationship, single, married, just figuring things out. Connection touches everyone. And our sources, they have some really practical stuff inside. So let's get right into it. The research makes it clear love isn't just one thing.
No, not at all. It's like this huge spectrum. That's what the sources really map out. You've got that fierce, unconditional parent-child love. Then there are those incredibly deep friendships, the platonic bonds.
Right.
And then, of course, the romantic kind, the one that gets all the attention, maybe. What's really interesting, though, is how they all share this kind of underlying structure. Connection is connection, even if it looks different on the outside.
And thinking about that structure, it feels even more relevant now, doesn't it? With everything being so fast-paced, texts, dating apps, people living further apart.
Right.
The whole landscape feels like it's shifting constantly. But you're saying the core that stays put.
Precisely. I mean, the technology changes how we initiate, maybe, or how we maintain things day to day. But the fundamentals, connection, real understanding, and vulnerability, they're timeless. Research, people like Brene Brown, they keep coming back to this. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage.
And essential for real connection.
Absolutely. The risk now, maybe, is mistaking all the digital chatter for genuine connection. It's easier to stay surface level.
Okay, so if we accept this core is timeless, that brings up the whole longevity question. We often think of love starting with that huge spark, that intense feeling.
The limerence phase.
Yeah, exactly. But the sources we looked at suggest it becomes something much more deliberate, right? This idea that lasting love moves from just a feeling to an actual choice.
That's a really key distinction that comes up again and again in relationship studies, that initial intensity. It often fades. It has to, really. What takes its place, if the relationship is going to last, is this ongoing conscious decision.
A decision to do what exactly?
To engage, to show up day in, day out, to forgive, which is huge.
Yeah.
To stay present even when it's uncomfortable, and crucially, to actively work on growing together. It stops being something that just happens to you and starts being something you actively build.
Building takes effort, though. And effort can sound, like hard work.
Yeah.
Maybe not very romantic.
Yeah, it can sound daunting.
What kind of effort are we really talking about? The sources get specific, don't they? It's not just try harder.
No, definitely not. Think about Dr. John Gottman's work. Decades observing couples. He doesn't just say effort. He talks about concrete things. Pillars, really.
Like what?
Building trust, which means being reliable, being transparent. Then clear communication, where the goal is to understand the other person, not just win the argument.
Okay.
And mutual respect. Seeing each other as individuals, respecting boundaries. He also talks about bids for connection. These tiny little moments, everyday things.
It's like
asking about their day, putting your phone down when they talk, a small touch, bringing them a coffee, little signals that say, I'm paying attention, I value you.
And ignoring those.
Ignoring those, even the small ones, consistently. That's what slowly erodes the foundation. It's often the small neglects that do the most damage over time.
That really shifts the focus, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Away from the Hollywood perfect love story. We get so many images of relationships with no arguments, constant excitement.
Yeah, the highlight reel.
But real love, based on this research, it seems to embrace the messiness.
Totally. The sources are pretty clear on this. Deep, lasting love isn't about finding someone flawless or having a conflict-free life. It's about seeing the imperfections, the flaws in yourself and your partner and choosing to love anyway. There's even research on benevolent attributions. Meaning you tend to give your partner the benefit of the doubt. If they do something annoying, you assume good intentions. Or maybe they're just having a bad day rather than assuming they're trying to hurt you. Couples who do that, much more resilient.
Okay, so accepting messiness.
Yeah.
But how do you navigate it so it doesn't just, blow things up? Conflict will happen. The sources say healthy conflict can even be good. How?
Yeah, good conflict sounds like an oxymoron, maybe.
A little.
But it's about how you handle it. Healthy conflict isn't about avoiding the disagreement itself. It's about the approach. It means aiming to understand, not to score points or win. Kindness is key.
So practical things, like active listening.
Exactly. Really hearing what your partner is saying, their feelings underneath the words, not just planning your rebuttal while they're talking.
Yep.
Using I statements helps a lot. I feel hurt when, instead of you always make me feel, which just puts people on the defensive.
Right, less blame.
Less blame, more curiosity. Trying to understand why they feel that way. It's about tackling the problem together, not attacking each other.
That makes a lot of sense. And thinking about handling things constructively kind of leads to another big point from the research. Self-love. This idea that you need a solid foundation within yourself first. How crucial is that?
It's foundational. Our sources connect this to all sorts of psychological ideas like attachment theory. Having a secure sense of your own worth, that's often linked to what psychologists call a secure attachment style.
And that helps in relationships, how?
If you know yourself, understand what you need, and fundamentally believe you deserve love and respect.
You can set boundaries.
Exactly. You can set healthy boundaries. You can communicate your needs more clearly because you actually know them. It means you're less likely to settle for a relationship that doesn't truly meet your needs.
And it allows for real intimacy.
Yes. Exactly. That deep emotional intimacy where you feel truly seen and accepted, flaws and all. That's incredibly hard to achieve if you don't first accept yourself. You can be authentic in the relationship, not just performing a role you think the other person wants.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
That feels really important. Something else that really jumped out from everything we reviewed, this idea that love is about growth. Not just staying the same side by side, but actively supporting each other's evolution.
Yeah.
That feels huge.
It is huge and really powerful. Relationship experts sometimes talk about co-creation or mutual individuation, fancy terms,
But the idea is simple.
the idea is creating a space where both people feel safe enough and encouraged enough to keep growing, to pursue their own goals, develop their talents, become, well, better versions of themselves, not just for the relationship, but as individuals within it.
And that support predicts happiness.
It's a very strong predictor of long-term satisfaction, yeah. When partners champion each other's growth, the relationship itself tends to flourish.
Okay, so as we kind of pull these threads together, there's one last thought. A quieter one, maybe. Something our sources subtly pointed towards, for you, the listener, to consider. We tend to focus on the big stuff, right? Grand gestures, dramatic moments.
But love, it isn't always loud, is it? Sometimes it's really quiet. It's there in those small, consistent, often overlooked things. Like the cup of tea made just the way you like it without asking.
Yeah.
Or that text checking you got home okay. Or just holding your hand in silence when things are tough and words don't really help.
Those little bids again.
Exactly. Those steady, quiet acts of kindness and connection. Maybe take a moment to think, could those be the most meaningful, the most enduring expressions of love in your own life? Are you noticing them? Are you offering them?
That's a really lovely thought to end on. So wrapping up this deep dive, maybe the core message for you is this. No matter where you are on your journey, you are absolutely worthy of a love that's deep, that's meaningful, patient, and fundamentally kind.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Couldn't agree more. That covers our insights for today.
Until next time, keep your heart open, keep those connections real, and listen for that quiet language of love. Take care.